How does it feel to be a role model? You didn't sign up for that, but you inspire millions of people. What's that feel like?
Last week it was so funny. I was not playing well in my first round. I was like 4 over through 4 holes, I think. And these little kids were coming up to me and like giving me fist pumps, and they were like, "Good job, great playing." And I'm like, tears rolling down my eyes, "Thank you." But it's amazing to see how women's games are growing across the world, and I'm happy to just be 1% of that.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Sidekicks Conversations. I'm Mike Sievert, and today we are at the Sahalee Country Club, and we are at the 2024 KPMG Women's PGA Championship, and I am joined today, you guys, by none other than the world's #1 player in women's golf, Nelly Korda. Nelly, thank you so much for doing this, especially you're doing this during a tournament week. That's above and beyond. So we got to start with golf, okay?
Of course.
Take us into your season a little bit. This has been an epic season. You've broken records. You've won 5 in a row. You've added to your totals. You just keep winning. You've also showed us over the last couple of weeks you're an actual human being as well. Tell us the story of this season. How's it unfolding? And how do you process all that walking into a tournament like this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it started at home in Bradenton where I won in front of a home crowd, and that was honestly so amazing. Getting to do that at home in front of my friends and family, and having the finish that I did definitely aged me a little, aged my caddy a lot. I see a lot of gray hairs on him now, so I'm sorry, Jason. And then I took actually 7-8 weeks off from golf, from competing. I went home to see my grandparents in Prague, Czech Republic, and just kind of get away from life and just kind of take a vacation. And then I came back to, my first event back was in California in Palos Verdes. And I didn't really have too many expectations because I knew I took so much time off that I was just going to go out there and just try to play some golf and have fun, and ended up winning in a playoff again. Definitely.
Do you feel like that was helpful, taking the time away? Or
yeah.
It worked?
I would say like these past couple of years have been pretty tough for me because I've gone through injuries and I've gone through a little bit of a health scare. And the time that I've always taken off, I haven't been the happiest. So I really wanted to take some time off where I really got to enjoy something. I was in a really good headspace and kind of got away from golf a little. And it really, really helped me. I felt like a new person out there. I really enjoyed, I was super excited to go travel again, to go compete in front of everyone, and ended up, winning in California, then getting in my car, driving to Arizona. Do not recommend that after, because once that adrenaline wore off, every part of my body started to ache. And then was really tired in Arizona, ended up winning there, and then jumped in my car again and drove to Vegas and won at match play.
First of all, how do you get in a car and drive after?
I know, that's such a bad idea.
When did you realize you were kind of then chasing a historic streak? I mean, was it after the 3rd one or something like that?
I was just
Or were
on
you
a
ever
roll.
chasing a historic streak?
Not necessarily, no. I was just trying to stay in my bubble. I know there's media, there's stories out there, and the media was trying to push for, in a sense, telling me that, if I win another one, I tie the record, or if I win a couple more, then, I get to tie the record. And they were all such completely different events, and we were playing in such brutal weather that I didn't even have time to really think about that. I was so present and so in the moment that I was just trying to deal with what was at hand. And then also, match play is just such a different event where, you're not playing against, 144 girls. You're playing one-on-one against someone. Yeah. So that, in a sense, you just don't have enough time to really think about the history of the game or the records that you can possibly break. And then, I took a week off after match play, and then it was the first major of the year at Chevron, and I played really well there. The year before that, I finished 3rd, and I felt good. I knew the golf course. I liked the grass. It's Bermuda. It's what I grew up on, and I ended up winning there, and it was a dream come true, but such a whirlwind of
Does that
a
matter?
few
Does
weeks.
knowing the course and feeling comfortable and having prior success on that course, does it put you in a better headspace?
For sure, yeah, you're way more confident. You just kind of go out there and do your thing. And then obviously, I was definitely humbled by golf in the past couple of weeks.
I think it humanized you a little bit because you're a nonstop winning machine, you know?
Yeah, no, there's nothing better than a good old humble session. Yeah.
How do you think about, coming into a tournament like this weekend? How do you do your thing? Like, what's your process to get ready and go out and play your A game?
I mean, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to get ready for the event. That's when you're kind of like hitting your shots, you're working around the green. And when I practice at events, that means I'm thinking about my technique a little bit more instead of seeing my shots and executing them. I get a little bit more technical. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I just try to see the golf course, make a game plan, and then try to execute it to my best ability.
Do you use technology to help you improve your game? Like, how do you employ, off the course, how do you employ technology to help you?
For me, it's all about videoing my swing, using sometimes a TrackMan to see like how my swing path is. And even when I've seen my swing a million times on video, maybe I won't pick up on a certain thing. And that's why I send it over to Jamie, my coach, and he'll look at it. And I mean, without a phone and without pretty much the videoing, it would just be a complete mess because I would never really be able to figure it out on my own.
During a tournament, does your standing affect your gameplay? In other words, if you're ahead, does it affect your gameplay and your risk taking? Or does it not matter at all? Do you just play every hole as if it was the only hole?
I try to stay very, very present where, one shot at a time is what I have in front of me. That is what, my main focus. I'm 100% focused on what is right in front of me. Obviously, when it comes down to Sunday and you're in the hunt, like maybe you'll be aggressive here or you'll take the opportunity to be more aggressive there, but it's different. Like let's say with match play, I knew that when Leona made a mistake, I was gonna go to the safer side. So I made my decision based on how she hit her shot as well.
Take us back. I mean, you got involved at an early age. You come from a family of like unbelievable athletes. And first of all, that's hard to process. Like, is this nature? Is it nurture? Is it in your genetics? Is it about your parents and how they raised you guys? Like, tell us about your family.
Yeah, oh my gosh, very sport oriented. We played a bunch of sports growing up. We were always very competitive. Monopoly was very, very heated in our household. Houses went flying. We were all just best friends. My sister is 5 years older than I am, 7 years older than my brother. So she was more of like a motherly figure to us. And 2011, I was 13. That was her rookie year. So she left the house at a pretty young age. So it was my brother and I mainly, and we were just best buds. We're 2 years apart.
Do you feel like you went into the sport because of her?
For sure, yeah. She's my biggest role model, and I was that really annoying little sister that had to do big sister did. Like I think she despised me at times because I had to go everywhere she went, but I loved it. We've always played a role model role as well. I always try to pump up my brother, same with my sister, and she did that to us. So we've had really great role models in our parents and, older siblings. And
speaking of that, you're going to Wimbledon, right?
Yes.
To watch your brother?
Yeah,
What's that gonna be like?
Super excited. I love watching him play. I don't get to do it often because our schedules are so different. Like the only time of year that all 5 of us really get together is Christmas time. And that's for just like a couple of days, and that's it.
The golf schedule is relentless. How do you navigate all that and, with your life and to stay in top form as an athlete? I mean, it just comes and comes and comes. There's a tournament around every corner.
Yeah, off weeks are really, really crucial. My dad is really involved in my scheduling for the year. So before, like in December, when our schedule comes out for the year, we'll sit down and try to map out, where it's time to push and where it's time to take a couple weeks off and to recharge the batteries. So, as important as it is to get ready, it's really, really important to rest and recharge your battery.
Big part of the job in professional sports, especially golf, is working with sponsors and partners. And of course, T-Mobile. How has that gone? And before you answer, I have to say,
It's awful. Is that your answer?
yeah. No, I saw your a behind-the-scenes preview of your new T-Mobile commercial.
Yes.
And you, Nelly, are an actress in addition to being
I had a really good director.
the world's best golfer. So, do you have any aspirations, like in addition to athletics, to like be a public figure? And
It's really
'cause you're
fun.
really good in that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. No, I actually, the crew that I worked with was unbelievable. The director, Brian, he was like, gosh, I'm tired. I'm like, I'm tired. Like, you're like, more energy, less energy. I was like, okay, I got this. And then by the end of it, you like appreciate the jobs that those people do because you're like, okay, I play golf for a living. This is all I know. But then you get behind a camera and you're like, by the end of the day, you're like, I am exhausted. I don't know how people do this every single day. So it was super cool, neat to do. And when I had such an amazing crew that I had so much fun with. And then getting to play in the T-Mobile Match Play event this year and winning it was also a cherry on top.
You said you're not a coach. But you are like the world's greatest golfer in women's golf. Do you ever give tips? Like, do you have any tips for our viewers? You know, what's the thing you tell people who are amateurs, who just want to improve their game a little bit? What's the most important thing we could each concentrate on?
It depends. I would say golf is really about fundamentals. I still to this day work on fundamentals. So my grip, the way I'm pointed, like sometimes I aim a little bit too far right. Golf is so much about basics of fundamentals. You can get so deep into technique and you can make the game way more complicated than it should be, but it's always mainly about your fundamentals.
How does it feel to be a role model? I mean, you didn't sign up for that. You signed up to play golf.
Yeah.
But you've emerged as a really important role model that millions of people look up to. You're also one of the leading athletes in I think a movement in women's sports that is a really exciting thing happening across all sports right now. What's that like? Do you feel pressure as a role model and as a leader? Because you didn't sign up for that, but you inspire millions of people.
It's such an incredible feeling. For me, it's like seeing the little kids out there every week and them telling me that I'm their role model or I inspired them to pick up the game of golf. Like that to me is the best feeling for me. Like set aside golf and your accomplishments, that to me is probably the most important thing is the way I carry myself on the golf course. I looked up obviously to my family, to my parents, to my siblings, but I had Roger Federer and Nadal. Like, we were very much so a tennis oriented family growing up. So we watched a bunch of tennis and the way that Nadal fought through every adversity that he was put through, and then the way that Roger carried himself with such elegance. Like those are the two that I tried to mimic the most because I feel like they are amazing role models for the up and coming. And like last week, it was so funny. I was not playing well in my first round. I was like 4 over through 4 holes, I think. And these little kids were coming up to me and like giving me fist pumps and they were like, good job, great playing. And I'm like, tears rolling down. Thank you.
You got this.
Yeah, I was like, thank you. But it always made me smile and it always put me in a better mood. And seeing them out there, like they help me as much as maybe I help them. So it's amazing to see how women's games are growing across the world, and I'm happy to just be 1% of that.
Well, more than 1%, but thank you for taking it so
Thank you.
seriously. Thank you for inspiring all of us. I wish you the best of luck here in
Thank you.
Sahalee this week. It's going to be an amazing weekend. You are an inspiration to the T-Mobile community. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being our partner.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on all your success.
Thank
Nelly.
you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
And that's Sidekicks Conversations for today, you guys. We'll see you next time.